Unit 6, Object Manipulation, Part 1 of 2. The unit objectives. The students will be able to demonstrate the basic concepts of manipulators and accumulators, and students will be able to design examples of manipulators and accumulators. Introduction. All robots are designed with a purpose in mind, and these purposes can vary greatly. To fulfill their purposes, many robots are required to interact with their environment and the world around them. Manipulators. Manipulators can fall into three basic categories: plows, scoops, or friction grabbers. Plows. They move objects without actually picking them up. There you can see the drivetrain of the robot, the wheels, and then you can also see the plow there pushing the balls. Scoops apply force underneath an object such that the object can be elevated and carried. Friction grabbers. Friction grabbers apply a normal force between the object and the traction pad, and they rely on the frictional force between the object and this traction pad to manipulate the object. Pinching claw. With a few minor tweaks, one can configure a pinching claw to accommodate a wide variety of objects. Designers creating a pinching claw should include some sort of elastic give in the design. Good pinching claw designs don't require the motor to be continually powered to maintain grip on the object. Top jaw grabber. This type of manipulator consists of a stationary lower jaw with an actuated top jaw. It is a combination of a scoop and friction grabber. Roller claws. One of the most common and successful types of object manipulators is the roller claw. This type of manipulator uses rotating wheels or rollers to suck in objects. Robot drivers just need to turn on the rollers, touch the object in front of the roller claw, and it will suck the object in without any further control. Accumulators. It is often important to be able to collect multiple objects at one time. This requires a specific type of object manipulator called an accumulator. Accumulators typically come in three types: magazines, conveyor belts, and hoppers. Magazines. The first type is a magazine, in which objects are loaded one at a time into some sort of storage area and held in a fixed orientation. Conveyor belts. Another type of accumulator is a conveyor belt, which is actually a form of magazine. It is important to note that there are two main types of conveyor belts. Indexing belts. The belt runs only when grabbing an object to enable good sorting, or non-indexing belts. The belt continuously runs and the objects self-sort. Indexing belts. You can see how step 1, the conveyor runs only when grabbing a ball, and then it's been moving and the ball moves up there. Step 3, it touches the next one, so it starts moving all the way, and then down here to step 5, as the conveyor grabbed the fourth ball, it accidentally spit out the first, so it can only hold so much, and then the first ball fell out. In the previous example, the belt is ran a little bit as each object is grabbed. This keeps the objects evenly spaced within the accumulator. This requires a high degree of control, either by the driver or by the robot's pre-programming and sensors. If the belt runs at the incorrect time for too long, the system can jam or end up packing the objects very inefficiently. Non-indexing conveyor belts. Step 1, the conveyor belt runs continuously, and you can see how it runs as it picks up the balls. Step 3, the first object hits the backstop as the second object moves up, so you can see a little backstop there to stop it from falling out. Step 4, the second object hits and the first object stops. Step 5, the first 3 objects all stop at the top of the conveyor as it picks up the fourth. Non-indexing conveyor belts continuously run. A hopper. A third type of accumulator is a simple hopper or bin. They come in two types: dumping hoppers and reverse hoppers. A hopper is a large storage area where objects are placed in. Differs from where the objects are placed in. It differs from a magazine in that the objects are not held in a specific orientation. Designers of hopper-type accumulators must be very careful to ensure the objects won't jam if they end up in the wrong orientation. Some shapes of objects are more appropriate for hoppers than others. Dumping hoppers are hoppers in which the way the objects are released is different than the way they are gathered. So you can see the claw here gathering up the balls, and then they put them into the dumping hopper, and then the bin tilts up to release all the balls. Reversing hopper. Reversing hoppers are hoppers similar to magazines in which objects are released through the same mechanism with which they are gathered. So it rolls to suck up the balls, and then it rolls the opposite directions to push them back out. Accumulator design. There are a number of design characteristics which are common among successful accumulators. A wide intake mouth, allowing for pickup over a wide area without precise robot positioning. A means to prevent jamming of objects after pickup. A high-speed intake that allows a robot to pick up an object even when it's driving at full speed. The ability to gather multiple objects at the same time. The ability to gather a large number of objects one after another without jamming or slowing. And the capability to pick up objects of various sizes. This ends part 1.